Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational Season 2 Best of 2 matchup between Do It Right and the Church of Murky. I am your last minute caster this evening, Mongoose, and after this game, we will send you over to the NGS Division C Grand Finals, which should be a really spectacular matchup as Regen Red going up against Rush B. But before that, the undercard, Do It Right versus Church of Murky. Game 1 will be here at Alterac Pass. We do have all 10 players on both of these teams here, ready to go. Should be starting here momentarily. If you're not familiar with the Zul'jin Distillery, it was started last off-season, NGS off-season, by the Great DeWitt, bringing in some kind of Division D, C, E teams for a fun, low-key tournament between teams. They got a really good community environment going on over there, and they're always fun games. So happy to jump in and cast a few here and there and root on some of these players that I've gotten to know a little bit. And now that we have the correct tournament draft setting, we will actually get game number 1 underway any moment. All right, I've got the R's. We're going to get it started. Welcome to Alterac Pass, here for game number 1. All right, so Do It Right here with first picks. Oop, I have the wrong overlay. I'm not terrible, I swear. With Do It Right here. Gonna ban out the Asmodan. Very annoying hero late game as they stack up. Can be oh so powerful, difficult to deal with, and we will not see it here in game number 1. Let's, oh my goodness, let's fix this beautiful Church of Murky logo that I don't have scaled properly, but now it is, and it's ready to go. I swear, I have done this before. Anubarak banned out here by Church of Murky. Probably the best overall tank in the game right now. Second ban for Do It Right. Lots of good selections available for ban. Dibbles is a common one. Anna. I don't know if Anduin is available, and I'm assuming he is because he's banned, but that was going to be the next words out of my mouth, actually. Anduin is really strong despite debuting to a less than stellar win rate. It has been slowly on the rise, and I have seen some players who have been very effective with Anduin. His trait, which I don't recall the name of right now, but really allows you to pull your teammates out of some sticky situations with the kind of reverse hook with the protected cleanse coming out there. Kel'Thas going to be banned out by Church of Murky, and now we will have the players, or I should say the heroes that we will see here, and Johanna will be the first of those heroes. Kind of a generalist, standard tank. Not spectacular, but always solid. Very good wave clear, good survivability. A little bit limited in the forms of initiation. Really got to wait until Blessed Shield at 10 until you have reliable initiation as Johanna. But Church of Murky coming back big time with a Diablo and an Orphea. Orphea, in my opinion, is maybe the highest skill ceiling of the mages that we have here in Heroes of the Storm when she's played right. She's capable of carrying, but if you don't hit your skill shots and don't do the stuff that she does, she is going to be limited. Flip side, we're going to see Rexxar and Vala. So Rexxar and Johanna, along with Misha Bear, are going to be a big front line, hoping to give Vala the space that she needs to operate. Vala will do a ton of damage, but she's got a pretty short range, so she's really got to step into that area. That's why it's not uncommon when you see a Vala to see either a double support or a 1.5 support, like a Zarya Tassadar kind of paired with her. But maybe the Rexxar Johanna big front line will be enough to keep Iceman comfortable and safe on that Vala and create the space that she needs to do her damage. But a support choke coming out here from both sides is Anna and Whitemane taken off the board by Church of Murky and Do It Right respectively. So let's see the two picks Church of Murky here is going to come out. I imagine one of them is going to be the support with Anna and Whitemane and Anduin already not available. Options a little bit more limited. Let's see who they go with. They are going to go with Alexstrasza and Sylvanas. So Orpheus Sylvanas, they're going to put out a lot of damage. I don't think a lot of people realize just how much damage Sylvanas can do. She's really strong right now. And Alexstrasza with the Dragon Queen can also be very good. I wonder if they're going to respond with a Deckard Cain for the AoE healing reduction to really take the steam out of Alexstrasza. Instead, they're going to go with a Jaina and a Rhaegar. So pretty standard composition for Do It Right. You know, you got the two frontliners, the two damage dealers, and a support. Vala is going to really have her work cut out for her, though. Doesn't have the traditional kind of second pseudo support that she's used to. So Iceman's positioning is really going to be paramount to getting value out of that Vala pick. And Redbeard gonna round it out with the Zeratul. So going with the solo tank Diablo, I will say Church of Murky, that is a lot of damage coming out. Zeratul, Orphea, Sylvanas, and they've got one hell of a wombo combo too. You've got the Void Prison, the APOC, the Crushing Jaws from Orphea, or the other heroic as well, which the name is escaping me right now. And you can even throw a Wailing Arrow on top of it. So if Church of Murky presses their R buttons at the right time, that can really be a scary composition that they've rolled out there. So Alterac Pass, one of the newer, actually I'm the newest, battleground here in Heroes of the Storm. Has some unique properties to it. One, if you don't finish the core, it'll heal right back up to 100%. So if you're going to make that core call, you want to make sure you actually finish the job, of course. Two, the core is easier to take down the more keeps that are down. So you usually don't see teams go for the core call unless they have, you know, two of those keeps down to soften up that general who's waiting there. But here we go. Game number 1. Our blue team, Do It Right, featuring Hannibal on a brightly colored Wonder William playing Jaina, Iceman on Vala, Ronin on Johanna, Tantrum playing Mecha Rhaegar, and Grevent on Misha Bear and Rexxar. Their opponents this evening for this 2-game set: Church of Murky, Begully on Alexstrasza, Orion on Sylvanas, J Show, I'm going to say on Orphea, Shoke on Diablo, and stalking in the bushes in the bottom lane is Redbeard playing Zeratul. So both teams opting not to go with the traditional 5-on-5 meet and greet in the mid lane. Zeratul's already bottom, Sylvanas, Misha Bear already top. And now Do It Right gonna rotate hard onto the Zeratul. Redbeard is pretty far forward, does get caught in the condemn, blinks away, but there is Johanna, Vala, Rhaegar, and company waiting, and that's going to be first blood. Over to Do It Right, a mere 50 seconds into the game, punishing an overextension there from Zeratul. So nice crisp rotations here by Do It Right, really utilizing the Jaina and the Vala to burn down those waves. One of the other unique attributes of Alterac Pass is these siege camps. They are really powerful. They spawn in under 2 minutes. They yield a lot of experience. So you want to capture them right away like both of our teams are doing. If you capture them basically on spawn, you can capture them a second time as the objective pops. They push really hard down the mid lane, and I think you can make the argument that Alterac Pass is probably the only battleground where the mid lane is maybe the most important. That's where these mercenaries push down. If you hold your mid fort, it makes it much easier to contest both top and bottom lane objectives. And even though there are double bosses here, they're not particularly strong in the top and bottom lane, so you see a lot of teams put heavy priority on the mid lane in Alterac Pass. So a slight XP lead here for Do It Right, partially as a result of the hero kill, but partially also as a result of the minion soak, but Ronan flipped into a rough spot, able to iron skin almost to safety. The teammates arrive, but not quite in time, and they're finally able to bring down that Johanna. That whole sequence kind of reminded me of that Carbot video where Diablo is trying to drag Johanna around in the underground and haunted mines, and just kind of holds onto her leg while she walks away. So here we go. Objective number 1, rookie mistake from Ronan. Objective number 1 has spawned, both teams working their way here, and as I mentioned, when you get these camps on cooldown, they're here for the first objective. Do It Right jumping on that objective early, while Church of Murky trying to catch somebody here in the bottom lane. Vala taking a lot of damage, and without tap, Iceman does have tap, so we'll be able to stay here. Mid lane Mercs picked up by Do It Right, and here we go for objective number 1. Squishy Vala taking a lot of poke damage. Really got to be wary of that Orphea, who can burn him down real quick. Do It Right posturing in on the objective. They are kind of split here, with Rexar trying to hold the backside, but Zera, Diablo, Alexstrasza, a little bit of hesitation out of Church of Murky, and Iceman really went to town on Orphea, forcing the Earth and then the changing of the mind, but it's actually Zeratul that goes down. Second kill in this game for Do It Right. They've also channeled the jailbreak, so on their way to securing the first objective. Zeratul probably won't be up in time to contest this, so Church of Murky has to make a decision if they want to go in light-handed for now, while Zeratul works his way here, and with only 5 seconds on the objective. Looks like that's the decision that they have chosen to make. So first cavalry objective will go over to Do It Right. So here we go, cavalry pushing down all 3 lanes. Do It Right putting a little priority on the bottom lane. Nobody in the top though, so it looks like they're going to take the mid lane and the bottom lane. Miss a little bit of soak in top. Church of Murky taking a slightly different approach. They've got Sylvanas in the top lane to clear that out and maximize soak. However, with a Vala and a Jaina here, basically a core comp here, a damage, a support, actually 2 damage, a support, and a tank. There's going to be a lot of value getting in here as Tantrum lands the Wolf Bite to finish off another kill onto Zeratul. And this fort here in the bottom lane rapidly falling down to Do It Right's assault. Down it goes. Occasional catapults now spawning in the bottom lane, and an aggressive rotation from Do It Right to try to polish off this mid lane as well. Sylve did clear out the top. About a half a level lead or so from Do It Right, as well as taking down the fort in the bottom lane. Although Vala is actually tanking this fort. That is not who you want tanking that. She did step out, so now Johanna will. Now the minions are here. Zeratul going, doing some poke damage, trying to force her out. And they are successful, driving Do It Right off of their mid lane fort. Trying to catch Sylvanas, though. She is a little far forward and late to return. The Vala and the Jaina catcher, down she goes. Second overextension here from Church of Murky. They're going to rotate out, get the kill on the Sylvanas, and right on to the underpowered boss as they're on the verge of picking up their heroic abilities, and here they are. So they'll probably finish off the boss before they start picking them up. Church of Murky responds by picking up their own mid lane mercenary camps and soaking all of the lanes for level 10. It is going to be Strafe for Vala, Ring of Frost for Jaina, Ancestral Healing for Rhaegar. I believe that's Release the Boars or Unleash the Boars for Rhaegar, and it is. Johanna not showing yet. I would guess it would be Blessed Shield, but I've been wrong before. So Vala and Rexar doing some damage here in the top lane, but all 5 members of Church of Murky are here. Vala needs to be very careful. If they decide to kind of YOLO past the boss onto Vala, she could be in trouble. But a big flank from Jaina catches Orphea in the Ring of Frost. Absolutely blows her up. They do get the APOC Ring of Frost, or I'm sorry, VP APOC combo doesn't quite land, nor does the Wailing Arrow. So you saw the pieces of what Church of Murky was trying to do with this comp. But without the Orphea and with the hard flank coming out by Do It Right, they just weren't quite able to get the pieces together. And that's 2 more kills for Do It Right. They do secure the top fort as well. Full level lead here, 6 kills to 1. Do It Right looking strong here in the first 10 minutes or so of our game number 1. So it looks like both sides are going to go ahead and jump on to their mid lane siege camps. Church of Murky will finish theirs first. Do It Right just now getting on their own camp. And now both teams maneuvering towards the jailbreak objective. Church of Murky is actually here unopposed right now. They're going to get the first channel in. Do It Right is prioritizing clearing out the mid lane to allow their own siege camp to pressure in. Maybe thinking about 13's. Iceman is so far forward. What aggressive positioning. That could be a mistake there, as Zeratul is all over Vala. Unfortunately, Crushing Jaws does not land on anything. But while Zeratul was beating up on poor Vala, the rest of Do It Right was just shredding the backline. Alexstrasza, Diablo, Orphea all go down. Sylvanas likely close to follow, although she does get away. No, Hungering Arrow finished the job. Iceman, despite some very aggressive positioning and nearly getting taken out by the Zeratul, does stay alive and secures the final kill of that team fight win onto Vala. So second jailbreak objective, we'll go over to Do It Right one more time. Vala aggressively positioning again. Zeratul onto her again, but not able to finish her off. Church of Murky showing no lack of aggression. They're going in, and they're going in hard, trying to get something done. And Blessed Shield goes out. Teams hitting their R buttons. Diablo going to be the first to fall again. Cleansing Flame was used as well. Iceman once again securing the last kill with the Hungering Arrow. And Jaina and Vala combining to pick off Orphea and Alexstrasza. 14-1 in kills here. Do It Right in control the whole way. Now in addition to 4 heroes down, Cavalry will be barreling down all 3 of these lanes. And Do It Right has their eyes on some keeps here at minimum, assaulting both top and mid lane. members of Church of Murky have spawned. It's going to be too late to save this mid lane. The cavalry is still here. Vala is just wailing on this keep. Down it goes. And top is going to go down too. That's going to be 2 keeps down. And maybe more depending on how this goes with a 4-level lead. That's a very devastating advantage, but there's the VP, there's the APOC, drop the VP, there it is, there's the Crushing Jaws, the Wailing Arrow. That's what they've been waiting on the whole game. And if that was anything other than a 4-level discrepancy between these two teams, Do It Right would have really been annihilated there. But that was just too much of a level discrepancy to overcome. Church of Murky finally got their Wombo combo off there late at the end, but it was probably too little too late, or not. The GGs are coming out, but they haven't been able to finish off this general yet. And on Alterac Pass, you have to finish it off. You can't let it go. If Do It Right here leaves, this thing is just going to heal right up. It's so close, but they can't quite finish it off yet. There we go. So Do It Right takes game number 1 in a fairly commanding fashion here. (16-2) in kills. We saw the pieces of that Wombo that Church of Murky was trying to run, and then, man, they finally pulled it off there at the end, and they pulled it off really well. They put all 4 pieces together, but just wasn't enough. At the time when they pulled it off, it was 16-12 in levels. That's just a big level discrepancy to overcome. So let's see where we go here for game number 2. We'll be back in just one moment while we figure it out. All right, after that quick hiatus, we are back for game 2, where we will be going to Volskaya Foundry. Church of Murky try to take this game 2 and salvage a 2-game split here at the Zul'jin Distillery. We only play a 2-game set, so you can either get a win or a draw depending on how this set goes. But Do It Right looked very strong that last game. They identified a couple of over rotations, got some picks in the early game. Got a lot of value out of the Vala pick. And Church of Murky, on the flip side, just wasn't able to punish some of the positioning that they might have been able to. And they had a composition built around a pretty scary Wombo combo, and they just couldn't quite execute it till all the way at the end of the game. And you saw it when they did it. It looked good. They just needed to pull that off a little bit earlier. It just kind of felt like Do It Right was really the aggressor for most of that game. So, game number 2 to Volskaya Foundry. Another one of the newer maps. Volskaya Foundry, of course, is all about your toy collections. You want to get the turrets. You want to get the biotic emitter. The fights on for the objectives are really long, drawn-out affairs. Typically, you got to channel it for X amount of time. You have the overtime when teams hit 99% if it's contested. One of my favorite heroes to play here at Volskaya Foundry is Sylvanas. If you get the Merc Queen Sylvanas, it affects those turrets. It makes them significantly more powerful. It makes it much easier to destroy the other team's turrets. So we'd love to see one of these teams pick up a Sylvanas. But let's see here where they go. Church of Murky with first pick, first ban. Going to ban out the Anubrak again. Really don't want to see that hero. And we will not see it here in game number 2 either. Do it right. Gonna ban out the Asmodan one more time. So far, no changes from our game 1 bans. Typically, after a game 1, you usually see one of the two teams make an adjustment. Anna banned out by Church of Murky. What's up, DeWitt? And last ban here for Do It Right. Once again, banning out Anduin. Don't want to see the newest hero that we have here. So first pick by Church of Murky. Let's see what they pull out of the tool shed here. If they do have some interesting or pocket strats, something a little different, typically you're not going to see it early in the draft as they do grab Garrosh. Usually you're going to show the weird stuff at the end, not give your opponent time to respond. 2 picks for Do It Right. I really like Jaina into Garrosh. She's a nice soft counter. Adds the slows to Garrosh, makes it much more difficult for him to get the engages that he wants. Coming out with an ETC and a Li Ming for Do It Right. Two selections for Church of Murky. I also like Jaina with Garrosh as well. Not only does it deny the other team from grabbing her up, but the Jaina burst damage onto a Garrosh toss is really solid. And I honestly like it even more now with a Raynor and a Malfurion. All of those heroes go together really well. Ace in the hole, bonus damage for slowed targets for Raynor goes so well with Jaina. And actually, I wouldn't mind a Jaina ban coming out here for Do It Right for that very reason. Raynor can be a little tough into ETC too. ETC is, and there it is the Jaina ban. They were thinking what I was thinking. ETC is not the largest of health pool tanks, so he is somewhat vulnerable to a high damage auto attacker like Raynor just kind of slowly wearing him down. And an Alexstrasza ban coming out for Church of Murky. So with Li Ming, you got to get those resets if you're doing it right to get value out of that Li Ming pick. Let's see what they do. I would love one of these teams to pick up the Sylvanas for the reasons that I mentioned earlier. Nobody's grabbed her yet. Instead, it's going to be Tassadar Zul'jin. So I kind of hinted at this type of kind of 1.5 support comp last game. You usually see it with a Vala, but a Zul'jin is another hero that you can 100% see it with. And later on, too, Zul'jin does have an ability that completely ignores armor to heroes that are marked with his Q, I believe. So can really shred that Garrosh at 13 or 16. I forget which. That's a little ways to get there. But it is a factor. Church of Murky going to respond with a Kalthas Thrall. So plenty of damage coming out of Church of Murky again. That's back-to-back games where they just have a lot of damage. Do it right. Is going to have either a solo tank ETC or a lack of a healer. So much squishier heroes coming out here for Do It Right. So burden of execution going to be a little higher on them as they do select the white main. ETC can sometimes be a little bit difficult to hold that front line by himself, especially with a Raynor constantly poking you out. And on Volskaya Foundry, you have to hold these points. So it's going to be really incumbent on Do It Right to get those Leeming resets, finish off those kills, and get as much value out of her trade as you can. All right, on to game number 2 between Do It Right, Church of Murky, and the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational. Going to Volskaya Foundry. We get to watch these two teams battle it out for the Rock'em Sock'em Robot, or the Triglav Protector, which did receive some changes. They took away the root on the W, so you can't just insta-gib a hero in a team fight anymore with the Triglav Protector. They made it a little more siege focused, but also the buildings will now focus it regardless of minions or not. So that's a change there as well, nerfing it just a little bit. The blue team, Do It Right. Ronin now on Li Ming, Tantrum on ETC, Grivant on Whitemane, Hannibal on Tassadar, a hero I haven't seen in a competitive game in a fairly long while, and Iceman playing Zul'jin. The red team, Church of Murky, trying to pick up the split here in game number 2. Shoke on Garrosh, Redbeard on Thrall, Orion on Raynor, Begully on Malfurion, and Jaysho on Kael'thas. So both teams pretty passive here in the mid lane clash. Neither team really doing much other than flashing their sprays. It looks like Thrall and Tassadar will be battling out in the solo lane. We'll try to flash in on that matchup in a minute. It's been a hot minute since I've seen a Thrall Tassadar matchup. I don't know who wins that. I imagine both of these heroes will be pretty safe, but I missed it. Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, first blood. Last game, it was about 50 seconds in. This game about 50 seconds in as well. Ronin calling GG as he is the victim of the rotation from Church of Murky, able to pick up first blood here in the early game while we were looking at the solo lane matchup. If only we had a better caster. There goes Garrosh, and he hucks in that lane minion who's in a lot of trouble. But ETC overextended, eats the root, and the Raynor damage and the Kael'thas damage does escape with 200 hit points or so, but he is going to feel that one in the morning. Let's check in on our solo laners again. It looks like Thrall is slowly, oh so slowly winning this. I do really like this turret priority here for Do It Right. The turrets are so important here in the objectives on Volskaya Foundry, so you want to get them as often as you can. And it looks like the members of Church of Murky, I imagine after this wave, will probably send a couple heroes down to pick up their own turret. And they do, but Zul'jin is kind of sharking around, seeing if he can catch the rotation. And they do, but Church of Murky kind of maybe smelled that there was an invasion coming, and they make sure they send plenty of forces down here and to defend their own turret. Garrosh was kind of hanging out close enough from the mid lane. They will finish off their own turret. Jaysho being sure not to eat those magic missiles, as if you're Kael'thas, those suckers hurt. So very soon, first objective will spawn here in the mid lane, and Volskaya Foundry always goes mid, top, bottom. Raynor is already on the top lane siege camp. No mirrored move, though, from Do It Right. So unless they send somebody here fairly soon, top lane advantage, off lane soak during, or off lane pressure during the objective, I should say, will be slightly in favor of Church of Murky. However, as soon as I said that, Do It Right does go ahead and send a squad over to their own siege camp to counter what Church of Murky is doing. Church of Murky will get onto this wave first. And unless Li Ming gets resets, by the nature of the comp that Do It Right has, it's going to be a little bit harder for them to force their way in on these points. Church of Murky's team is a little bit sturdier, Do It Right, more ranged-oriented heroes that don't really want to get in there and mix it up. So Thrall is in the off lane. Bottom lane, he can use that conveyor belt to rotate here very quickly as soon as he wants to. Now all members of Do It Right are on their way. Now they're showing Thrall gonna run onto the treadmill and arrive just at the nick of time. And here we go, 5 on 5. ETC stepping on the point. Now at over 70% though. Tantrum going in onto Thrall, but it gets thrown for his trouble. That's one of those things you need to be aware of. If you are an engaged tank into a Garrosh, you gotta be oh so careful about when you use your engage tools. And if you're solo tank ETC on Do It Right, once ETC goes down, the comp just doesn't work. So once the tank went down, first Rock'em Sock'em Robot, as well as the first kills of the game, over to Church of Murky. Not showing any ill effects after the bruising they took in game 1. Look really strong here in the early going, and taking a nice little early advantage. We'll probably get the front wall here, it looks like. Maybe. No? And there's the toss on to ETC again. Cleanse comes out. That definitely kept ETC alive. 16 seconds on the Triglav Protector. Usually what you're going to see teams do with the Triglav Protector is take out the mid wall and then rotate top, which is what they're doing. They're not going to get much value out of it because it's expiring now. But the reason they're going to rotate top is they want to prep for that next objective, which is always in the top lane. And if you can get rid of the well in the top lane, that's a pretty big deal. Raynor taking a lot of damage from ETC and the towers and White Mane there. And now we're settled back into the laning phase. Garrosh was in bottom soaking. I assume he's going to come back up and join the 4-man now. Do It Right, prioritizing the turrets again, as they should. But Church of Murky looking strong so far, with a small early game advantage. They are missing a little bit of soak here in the bottom lane. This is actually a full wave of missed soak here, minus that one minion for a Church of Murky. So they should have rotated somebody down there, kind of maximize that soak. And you can see the minion soak breakdown there, favoring Do It Right just a little bit. Also Do It Right managing to ninja in that biotic emitter as well, so they will have 2 toys. Church of Murky only will have one turret, but biotic emitter advantage to Do It Right. Heroics are on board here for Church of Murky and Do It Right almost simultaneously, actually. It's going to be Phoenix, Tranquility, Warlord's Challenge so far for Church of Murky. Thrall and Raynor kind of holding theirs. On the flip side, for Do It Right, we're going to have Scarlet Aegis, Disintegrate Beam, Force Wall. Is that Tazdingo? It is. And ETC is not showing. I imagine it's going to be Mosh Pit, but you never know. Still 3 question marks on these heroics, so teams being a little bit cheeky, not wanting to show their hands. Finally, Thrall does show Sunder. Maybe ETC was waiting to see if it was Sunder or Earthquake if he decided on Stage Dive or Mosh Pit. I still want to see Mosh Pit, though. It's just so good. And it is going to be Mosh Pit from ETC. They have caught them without Thrall here. Speaking of Mosh Pit, there's a big 2-man Mosh Pit. Getting the early kill on the Raynor. Ronin is getting the resits. Gets one on Kel'Thas as well, despite Kel'Thas landing a lot of damage. Tazdingo will go out, but he is going to get sundered and thrown under the turrets. Tazdingo will not keep him alive. A 2-for-1 in favor of Do It Right. However, Death Timer is still pretty short, so all members of both teams should be here pretty much in time to go for the objective. I like this move here by Do It Right. They're going to have 3 turrets and a biotic in there. They've stole 1 from Church of Murky. The 2 they've now secured themselves. And I love this move here by Church of Murky too. They want to get the fountain though. Don't get the fort, guys. Get on that fountain. Thrall's got the right idea. Get on that fountain. Oh, I guess they didn't steal that 3rd turret from Church of Murky. It's just they didn't use it the first objective. So it's 3 turrets and a biotic emitter versus 1 turret. Both teams at level 12. If Church of Murky fights in these turrets, they're going to have a rough time. Phoenix goes out as a zoning tool. It's not going to be enough, though. They only have 65%. They're just going to wait out that Phoenix. I really like the patience here by Do It Right. Garrosh creating a you will not pass zone. Really doing a nice job of sharking around. I want to see somebody just dismount him, though. Don't give him that speed. He does get the toss onto the Zul'jin. Cleanse probably saves Iceman there. Puds pop Tazdingo again. Garrosh eating the turret and the Tazdingo. Actually into the phrase for Raynor. Gets him out safely. And the turn, Do It Right, forced into the range of the biotic emitter. Turrets down everywhere. But it's Do It Right with this kind of squishier team comp that is just not able to secure the kills despite 3 turrets and a pretty good use of the Tazdingo. So let's see how this goes. Oh no, Thrall, run! No, they get a cheeky kill onto the Thrall, and that was very unfortunate timing for that kill, as ETC will be up any moment. There's the Thrall, or the toss onto Zul'jin again. Nice timing on the shield, though, from Tassadar. That may have been enough to keep him up because he was pretty low. ETC is on his way. He is on his way with a mosh pit at the trigger. Church of Murky, looks like they're going to wait for Thrall, and then they will try one more time to secure yet another Triglav Protector. All right, so Church of Murky making their way up after picking up a mercenary camp and some side soak there, 13 to 13. They got to step in soon, though. It's at 94%, though. There's going to be the mosh pit. It does hit 2. The Groundbreaker isn't able to interrupt it, but it is Kel'Thas on the gravity lapse that does. These two teams really pressing their buttons. Thrall is able to get away just barely, and it's actually Whitemane that's the first to fall. Counter kill onto the Raynor. Tazdingo popped again, allowing Zul'jin to pick up another kill, this time onto Kel'Thas, trying so hard to pick up ETC, and they do. What a bloodbath. Thrall now going 5 total heroes falling, but the Triglav Protector will go over to Do It Right on the heels of back-to-back team fight wins. Evening out the kill count in this game, evening out the Triglav Protector count in this game, and now laying siege to the top fort of Church of Murky. Top fort will fall. All members back here in the game. This Triglav Protector is not going to get too much more value because it took a lot of damage in that assault there. It's down to like, I don't know, maybe 10% health. Maybe you want to pick up that turret there just for the little XP boost, and they do. Maybe the front wall here in the mid lane because, you know, you're here already. Thrall might be caught out here. Members of Do It Right are on their way down. Redbeard doing his best to get out. The wall keeps him here, but the power slide kind of misses. That was really weird pathing. It looked like it should have hit, but I don't know if the wall messed up the pathing on the power slide. That was kind of bizarre, but Thrall lucky to get away there with the Tassadar and an ETC bearing down on him. Level 16s will be here first for Do It Right. Both sides jumping right back on their turrets. And Kel'Thas being dispatched to the top lane to make sure these katas don't get too much value. Do It Right responding by posturing around the biotic emitter. They are here. Garrosh is here by himself, though. He really can't stay here. And this is the talent I was talking about. So anytime Zul'jin gets his Q on Garrosh and auto attacks him, the armor that Garrosh has is just not relevant. It's going to make him much, much squishier. And I'm going to see if I can see the death recap on See if we can do that here. Garrosh. Recap. Yeah. Anyway, so that talent has come online, and Thrall picked off in the top lane. My mistake for missing that. So Do It Right, showing signs of life, coming back in this game. Now going to invade this camp. They're going to be here in time to do it. Maybe? Yes! The one-man mosh pit will hold Raynor in the party. It will capture his turret, actually, if they grab it. They're just leaving it there. Don't leave the turret there, Do It Right. It's right there. Somebody grab it. They do steal the mercenary camp. They get the kill on the Raynor. Now they're pushing in the top lane. They still haven't picked up the turret, though. Top lane falling fast. Thrall up in 4 seconds. Raynor up in closer to 20. Looks like Do It Right does have their eyeballs on this turret, and Grievin finally going to grab the turret as they rotate away. Want to make sure they don't overstay their welcome. Tantrum going right through the fort here, using his body to tank some of these shots here. What if there's a little miscommunication if he wanted the team to step up into this fort and turn it down? They do end up doing it, or nearly doing it, but not before he tanks a fair amount of damage there. Third objective is spawning. Do It Right is likely to rotate onto their top lane siege giants, and they are forcing Church of Murky. They're going to have to deal with this top lane. There's Katas coming down this lane here in a moment. It's way back here. But the Katas will be timed out about right with this mercenary camp. So this siege giant camp is going to push in with a Kata, plus this wave that's already built up here. And there's no wall to stunt this. So Church of Murky has a window here where they need to go deal with that top lane pressure, or it's going to take that keep. And that keep has already been weakened a little bit too. Second objective in a row that Do It Right has 3 turrets and the biotic emitter, and only 1 from Church of Murky. So Church of Murky is in a little bit of a rough spot right now. And if I'm Do It Right, I kind of just chill, wait for them to either lose keep from the top lane pressure, or give you the objective. But it seems like Church of Murky can't really decide what they want to do. They do send Thrall up, but the rest of these heroes can't do anything without Thrall here. So I think they're hoping he clears it out fast enough to rejoin his team to contest the objective. That's going to be a tall order. So Thrall is doing everything he can to clean it up here. Do It Right knows he's in the top lane. They do try to get the wall onto Kalthos there. Zul'jin taking a lot of that damage. First turret goes down from Do It Right, kind of zoning away members of Church of Murky. Thrall is on his way back, but with that Triglav at 88%, I think this objective is lost for Church of Murky already. And it is. The pressure top lane bought them all the time that they needed to simply stand on the point and kind of slowly whittle away this bottom fort. So Raynor caught out with the wall. Li Ming trying to get the reset. Nice play by Shoke into the fray there, saving Orion on the Raynor because Li Ming was going to tee off on him. Really great play there by the Garrosh player. But the wall is rapidly getting burned down here, but so is the Triglav Protector. This thing is already almost dead, despite having like almost a full minute left on this timer. Really nice defense there by Church of Murky, but they do get the root onto the Garrosh. He is very low on health. But with the Zul'jin being in the Triglav Protector, that ignoring armor ability wasn't able to take effect. Watch for the mosh pit. It is up. Do It Right, trying to finish off one of these keeps here. Step in. So Do It Right, taking down the bottom keep wall, not much more before calling off the assault. They do call the invade using their level 20s and a force wall to deter any kind of defense of this turret. And they're going to stack them up one more time. They have 2 and a biotic emitter again, going to get a third. Boy, is that starting to sound like familiar there. And now going to finally polish off this mid lane fort. Iceman taking a lot of damage. Tranquility does go out. Force wall trying to hold members there. Tantrum is looking for the big mosh pit. Can't quite find it, but they are forcing Church of Murky back. That was the power slide there. Didn't get the target he wanted. Backed out. Garrosh getting really chunked out by Zul'jin. Oh my goodness, that force wall was huge. Thrall coming in on the flank now. Still no 20s from Church of Murky. Despite the way these last couple objectives have gone, they've really done a nice job defending. They still have all of their keeps up. But one more Triglav Protector loss will probably be the game. So Church of Murky really needs this next objective. But so many items on the side of Do It Right. They have 2 biotic emitters, or just one? No, one. Thought they had a second one. But 1, 2, 2 turrets and a biotic emitter. They're going to have this Siege Giant Camp pushing in. Great call here by Church of Murky. Going to get a second turret, steal that away from Do It Right. They recognized where Do It Right was going and responded accordingly. Now going to push in with this bottom wave and just kind of even out this pressure a little bit. Now if I'm Do It Right though, I just make a call onto this top keep. You'll trade keep for fort any day, but instead here they come. ETC looking for the big mosh pit to end the game. Does get the power slide onto the Kael'thas, but that is it. They do go hard onto Thrall, and he is able to sunder before he goes down. Power slide doesn't quite connect. They can't quite finish the Garrosh, but look at that Kael'thas damage. Absolutely explodes Tassadar, and then Whitemane. Big counter engage by Church of Murky. And then Zul'jin gets the kill onto the Raynor. Oh my goodness, a 2 for 2 there. But once again, Mercenaries pushing down the top lane into a weakened lane with a catapult and a big wave. Kael'thas is being dispatched here to take care of that. As soon as he shows, I wonder if Do It Right is going to step in, and they are. So Garrosh and Mouth need to get out of here now. They were able to get, 20, 30% on the objective, so nothing to scoff at there. With Thrall and Raynor up momentarily, they couldn't go get on this, and I want them to zone this after. You have to show down here if you're Church of Murky. Don't just let them come in here and take this. Kael'thas is now on his way. So this one's going down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen. Much closer game than game 1. All heroes will be here back in the game momentarily. Garrosh stepping in hard. Does get the Groundbreaker onto Zul'jin, looking for the mosh pit, but unable to do it. There's the toss. But Garrosh going down. And that might be the beginning of the end, unless Kael'thas can get some more kills here, and they do. It's actually onto Zul'jin this time. Church of Murky will not go down. That's back-to-back team fights where they lost the initial engage, but were able to pick up some kills after their hero fell. First time Thrall, now Garrosh. This top keep is going to go down, though. Li Ming and the Rimmers of Do It Right are going to go up there and just finish it off. Maybe even invade this camp? Question mark? Or is this just anchoring? Just anchoring. While Li Ming goes, put some siege damage into the camp with the Kata here. No way this doesn't go down. There it goes. Kael'thas arrives a little bit too late. And Do It Right here. They were her. I liked it. They were her thing just in case they were trying to backdoor, but they weren't. They do secure the Triglav Protector. And now let's see how this game goes.
Blue team has taken control of a protector.
So waiting for the team to group up, taking their time. I'm not sure where I take this, honestly, if I'm Church of Murky. Both mid and bot forts are really low, and they'll go down, really like that. But top lane, you help kind of offset that pressure you're going to be experiencing there. If you take out that top lane fort, it will cancel some of the catapult pressure with your own occasional catapults. I don't think they're going to be able to get a keep with this. But having said that, minute 23 Triglav protectors are really powerful. So let's see what they do. And currently only, oh no, they do have two. I thought they only had one in there, but they do have two members. Do it right, stepping up hard. I want to see them try to get a little more structure damage with this Triglav, though. They've only gotten the one fort, and there's a couple katas on core here. I think those ones will be cleared out, but it's going to start building up. So I think the journey to the top lane here makes sense. They'd actually send Kael'thas back to clear those out. And that leaves them a man down here in this assault. 30 seconds left on this Triglav protector, so some time, but not a lot of value gained, really, honestly. Kael'thas has made his way back. 19 seconds now. Now they're stepping forward with the Triglav, trying to get some kind of value out of this. Maybe one more fort for their troubles, but Do It Right's really digging in their heels. That should do it. So they at least get two forts, including the top lane fort, which will help offset some of that catapult pressure. But man, these Kael'thas flame strikes are absolutely shrekking. They do get the toss onto the white main, and I don't know if she's going to get out of it, and she does. Oh my goodness. Grievent able to survive. Not so much ETC, though. The damage numbers coming out of Kael'thas are just unreal. Those flame strikes are just absolutely chunking at this point in the game. Now with the 5-on-4, they don't have any minions to tank this, though, so it's going to be a little dicey trying to siege into this. Maybe they're going to try to get the siege camp to help with the assault on the top keep, and they do have a minion wave finally working its way up behind them. So going to have a little help from the minion department now. And now they're going to lay siege? No. Uh-oh, Thrall. Oh no, Thrall. So instead of pushing with the minion waves and the mercenaries, they opted to grab the biotic emitter. And Church of Murky trying to change up. Uh-oh. Taz Dingo, beautifully timed, able to secure a Thrall kill. Tranquility a little bit too late. They do use the biotic emitter. They do grab the turret. But this game so back and forth. 26 minutes in now. With no end in sight, really either one of these teams can still win this game. I would be very surprised, though, if our next and fifth objective phase doesn't decide the game. Here comes Do It Right. Garrosh is there waiting. The Roots and the Gravity Lapses are there waiting as well. They aren't able to grab the turret, and now Kael'thas is in trouble, and ETC just walks in and steals it. Is that a mosh pit? No, it's on cooldown for 3 more seconds. There was a beautiful 2-man mosh pit there, but now the Kael'thas living bombs are just shredding. Leeming snipes out Raynor. A 1-for-1 on the back. Malfurion barely escaping with his life, and the game that will not be decided continues on. Second keep, falling for Church of Murky. Great wall by Hannibal there to possibly keep Iceman up, but the root may have been bigger. A huge root onto Thrall, setting him up for all the leaming damage into the fray. Shock has really been on point with those, getting his teammates out of some really sticky situations. In the meanwhile, Objective is spawning in the top lane, and these teams just continue to brawl in the bottom. It's like they sense that if either one of these teams can win this decisively, that will win them the game. Zul'jin may be caught out. No, Tassadar able to dimensional shift away. And neither team can find what they need. Root onto Thrall. Calamity doesn't finish him off. Meanwhile, Iceman is in no man's land down here. Church of Murky, smelling blood in the water, going to try to rotate back on top of him. This is one of the battiest games I have ever casted, and Zul'jin is going to get away. That was like 2 to 3 minutes of non-stop brawling for basically 1 kill for each team. And this objective has been sitting up here for a good 30 seconds or so. So take a breath, reset, 29 minutes in, and on to objective number 5. "14 kills to 11. Structure slightly in favor of Do It Right, but one team fight, that's all it's going to take here. They do get the initiation onto Garrosh. Down he goes. Mosh Pit doesn't land on anybody, but the tour bus in does get onto Thrall. The Mosh Pit is interrupted, allowing Thrall to get away. But Do It Right on the warpath, trying to secure a second kill, and they do. These fights are just so all over the place, I can't keep track of everybody. But the Orcs, Thrall, and Garrosh going down. 2 catapults going to start laying siege. 3 catas, actually, in this bottom lane. And look at how quickly they're chunking out this core. I mean, these are 29-minute, 30-minute catapults. They're going to do a lot of damage. I think this is going to do it here. They took about 15% core damage, grabbing the biotic emitter. They will grab the Rock'em Sock'em robot. And I don't know what the call here for Church of Murky is, but they are really... they're going to have to pull off a miracle, honestly, to keep this game alive. It was hard fought. But Garrosh and Thrall will be up in time for this defense.
Blue team has taken control of a protector.
About a minute 30 Triglav Protector with no keep to go through and a core that's already been weakened. I would be shocked if this game kept going. I mean, if there were a game that was going to keep going, this would be it. But a huge wall down goes Raynor. Zul'jin just shredding, takes out Thrall as well. Garrosh running for his life. Wall again, preventing the escape. And the walls, oh my goodness, the walls by Hannibal really, I think, gave Do It Right the opportunities to wrap up this game. And what was a never-ending marathon of a Game 2 finally going over to Do It Right. They do take the 2-0 series victory. We're going to show you the stats here. We'll show you the talent builds here. And then we're going to send you over to the Nexus Gaming Series Division C Grand Finals, which should be about one game in our best of 5. So thanks for hanging out, everybody. And let's enjoy the Grand Finals. Have a good night.